Hi, it's Alaska Granny. The inauguration is coming up next week and I'm a little concerned. I keep hearing that people are prepping, stores are emptying out. I decided it was a great day to go to Walmart. I set off around 9:30 and you can see it was still pretty dark, but it was a good time to go because the sun was out, it would be easier to drive, but I was concerned there were going to be crowds of people because I waited too late in the day to go. And was I ever shocked when I pulled up to Walmart and the store was nearly empty. Everywhere you walked around, there was no one in the store. It was full of employees. In fact, when I went into the store, they had a package of masks, and I asked the guy, "Are those masks?" And he said yes. And I had my mask on, but it was one I'd been using for quite a while. So I asked him, could I have one, because I was using one that was old and I was concerned that I might be contaminating myself with my used mask. And he was so kind, he gave me several of them. Walmart is certainly redeeming itself in customer service over some of the things that have happened to me in the last few months. So I'm always pleased to pass on when I have a good experience. There was someone there cleaning the carts, they were checking at the door, everybody was polite, and then the store was empty, but all the workers were as polite as could be. They were busy restocking the shelves. So luckily, what I was afraid of wasn't happening at the store. They're well stocked. The prices are up a little bit on some of the items, but pretty much anything you could want is there. It's the same way it's been for many months, that maybe the variety isn't as much. And one of the things, I think that's sort of a Walmart thing anyway, that they'll have like rows and rows of shampoo or soup, but it's basically only one brand or one variety. That's something they've been doing for quite a long time. So it wasn't surprising to see that that was still going on. Look at this, they even had freezers, deep freezers. I found them in several places in the store, giant stacks of freezers. People have been trying to get freezers for months and they've been something that's not available. So if you're still looking for a deep freezer, check out your local Walmart and see if they haven't gotten them in stock, and maybe this would be a good opportunity for you to get one. One of the nice things about looking for something like a freezer now is that a lot of people have gotten a stimulus check, and so maybe now you would have the money to get that you may not have had the money to get it before. I have a lot of food on hand, but I did want to stock up on more of my long-term food storage, mostly replacing the items that I know I've been using a lot more of, or items that I'm running low on, or just items that I think maybe I'd like to have a few more in my stockpile. The biggest surprise ever that I found, the canning jars. Look at this. I was able to get 2 6-packs of half-gallon size jars. I was going along looking, lots of jars, and poof, there they went right into my cart, because I still have a lot of rice and beans that I haven't had the proper containers to put them away. So that's the deal. When you're shopping and you know there's foods that you need, go ahead and buy them. You can always repackage foods better later. But if you don't have the food, then you don't have the ability to continue to feed your family, and you want to always have enough. So don't worry about getting containers first. Worry about getting food first. And then if you have the opportunity to repackage it better in the future, go ahead and take that opportunity and do it. I also found this big box that I want to put away a bunch of my long spaghetti and pasta noodles, because I have so many, the boxes are just sitting in the pantry. So now I want to load up this box with some pasta, put on the lid, and put it away in an out-of-the-way space. The nice thing about it being low profile is it could even slide into the bottom of a closet, under a bed. There's lots of different places that you can put low profile boxes and containers. If you get big ones, sometimes they're bulky and it's hard to find a place to put things away. So think about where you're going to put your containers before you buy them, so that you know you won't have to just be stacking them in the corner of the room. They had all kinds of soaps, detergents, and cleaners. It did say you could only buy one of each product, so I bought some Lysol spray, some all-purpose cleaner, a big jug of Dawn dish soap, and a giant container of laundry detergent. What they did not have were the dishwasher tablets. Luckily, I already have a big supply of dishwasher tablets, but if you don't, you might start looking around to make sure that you'll have them if that's something that you use. I got a 1-pound bag of small red beans. I'm going to make some red beans in my crock pot. Red beans are different than other beans. You do have to soak these before you cook them because they actually give off some kind of a toxic element that you could actually get sick eating red beans. So I'll go ahead and make a video about how to cook your red beans in the crock pot with the added step of making sure that you cook them completely so that they're safe to eat. I stocked up on red beans in cans simply because they're so convenient to have on hand, and I don't have to worry about trying to prepare and cook dry beans if I don't have to. This is a great way to keep beans in your prepper pantry, and the dry beans are a great way to have them in your long-term food storage. I use a lot of pinto beans. They're probably our family's favorite, and so I did get 12 cans of the pinto beans and 12 cans of the red beans to add to my prepper pantry. They had a lot of the pasta sides by Knorr. They were only $1 each. These are pretty good. They are great because the bag is sturdy and you can stash a bunch of them into something like an airtight container, a 5-gallon bucket, and they'll last for several years longer than they would have of just the date on the package. Plus, they're great easy meals to fill up your prepper pantry for things that are easy to cook and feed your family when you don't have a lot of time, a lot of money, or a lot of food on hand. You can stock up on some of these, add a can of meat, a can of vegetables, and you can make a meal right out of your prepper pantry. I usually prefer the pastaroni. I think they're a little more flavorful, but I did not see any in the store at all, and they had lots and lots of these, so it's a good opportunity to stock up on foods I know my family will eat. They had rice-a-roni for about $1.23. I bought some wild rice because I have a few recipes that I enjoy using the wild rice-a-roni. I've heard good things about the Idahoan packaged soup, so I bought one to try. I have used the Bear Creek, and they're really good. I have a lot of those in my stockpile. The Idahoan was actually about $3.63 or something. It was about $1 less than the Bear Creek soup. So if this is one that you like, maybe you want to look for it and check it out. It's a nice time of year to make your own mixes, so I bought some cocoa powder and some coffee creamer to make some hot chocolate mix with some powdered milk and some sugar. I bought the French vanilla creamer because it's far tastier than just regular creamer, in my opinion. Stock up on condiments and sauces that maybe you enjoy and you don't have enough. I like this sweet chili sauce. It's great on things like egg rolls, lumpias, and over rice. It's very tasty. I never bought canned turkey before, but I saw it today. They only had 3 cans. One of them was all dented, so I did buy 2. Buffalo beans, I never saw those before. They might be great when you're making some buffalo chicken wings. Dr. Pepper beans, I've never quite made them like that. I've used Dr. Pepper with some meat recipes, but those cans were all dented, so I passed and just tried the buffalo. I have lots of Chef Boyardee raviolis in my stockpile. When I saw lasagna, I thought that might be worth trying, so I picked up 1. If you want to try something new, buy 1. If you like it, you can go back and get more. I bought 1 little can of pineapple tidbits. I wanted some pineapple juice, but they didn't have any, so I figure I can use the juice off of this, and then I have an extra serving of fruit. So don't worry if you can't find the exact thing you want for a recipe in the store. Think creatively, what can I use to make that recipe and have that food in my pantry for when I need it. I bought a couple cans of tomato soup for a recipe that I plan to make. When you're shopping for a variety with food storage and filling your prepper pantry, think about pickled vegetables, things like peppers, olives, artichoke hearts. There's lots of different pickles besides just cucumber pickles. Look for pickled vegetables that maybe can add variety because it's a type of food that can last quite a long time in your prepper pantry, especially if you're not able to get the fresh fruits and vegetables that you want. It gives you added variety besides just the plain old can of green beans or cream corn. If you're ever making a recipe and it just seems mushy, grab a can of corn or a can of water chestnuts and drain it and add it for some crunch into your mushy recipe. Homemade pizzas are nice, so I picked up a pizza sauce and Alfredo sauce. If you've not ever tried Alfredo on a pizza, try some Alfredo sauce with some artichoke hearts and some chicken. It's really good. Betty Crocker muffin mix. If you've watched my videos, you know that this is some of my favorites. And I like to put a little frozen berry in the middle before I bake them. But if I don't have berries, here's a new idea. Add a tablespoon of jam for a little berry surprise in the middle of your mix. Triscuit, avocado, cilantro, lime. These are so good. If you haven't tried them, they definitely should be a part of your prepper pantry. I went to the camping section and picked up 3 packets of the Mountain House meals. These are very tasty meals. The Mountain House Company has now been guaranteeing that their meals should last for 25 years if you store them correctly, which means in a cool, dark, dry place. So you can pick up a breakfast, lunch, and dinner, and you have a complete set of delicious meals put away with your emergency gear. These don't necessarily need to go in your prepper pantry. They can go with your bug out bag. They can go in your long-term food storage. You can even put them into a special grab-and-go container that's full of extra meals and supplies that you might need that could sit alongside your bug-out bag. Because a lot of times in your bug-out bag, you want just peel open and eat meals like a granola bar. Lightweight and delicious as the Mountain House meals can be, they're still pretty bulky and you need to add water to them. A nice thing to know about the Mountain House foods is, yes, you are supposed to heat water and stir it up and let it soak, but if you can't heat the water, you can still just add cold water and stir it together and let it soak up, and it'll take like twice as long, but it still will rehydrate into a meal that you can eat. Would it taste better heated up? Yes. It's just not a necessity in an emergency situation. You can still have something to eat without having a way to cook it. So I got biscuits and gravy, lasagna with meat sauce, and a pro pack of beef stroganoff. The pro packs are supposed to be more for like if you're really doing a lot of activity. These have a few more calories and a high rate of protein, but you can see all of them are pretty good. All of them have around the same amount of calories and quite a bit of protein. And so what you want to do is find a flavor that you like. Look them over because they come at different price points. You can even find cans of Mountain House food, and you can find buckets as well. The other surprise I found at Walmart was the variety of the Augason Farms freeze-dried foods. The shelf had quite a lot in stock, and here the prices have gone up a little bit from when I bought them in the past, but they're still a reasonable price if you look at what food costs. The Augason Farms foods are great. You can store them away for 25 or 30 years as long as you keep them in a cool, dark, dry environment. If you do open them, then you need to use them up within a year. I suppose if you wanted, you could portion it out and put some in with an oxygen absorber in a Mylar bag, seal it in a canning jar, and that's going to help it last a little longer. I bought some mechanical pencils and some index cards so I could write down some of the pantry meal recipe ideas and notes to myself. And the reason I have to keep buying mechanical pencils, somebody keeps chewing them up. You know anything about that, Teddy? Heading home, it sure is beautiful around here. That's my adventure to Walmart today. Leave a comment below what you notice going on in your Walmart, no matter where you live, so we can all learn from each other. If you liked my video, I hope you'll share it with someone else you think might enjoy it. Learn more at alaskagranny.com. Please subscribe to the Alaska Granny channel.